Michelangelo di Ludovico Buonarroti Simoni was born during the Renaissance period on March 6, 1475 in Caprese, Tuscany, and was the second born of his 5 brothers. His father was an official and governor of his hometown, and unfortunately his mom died when he was 7 years old. When Michelangelo first gained an interest in painting, his father was enraged and thought painters were laborers. In school, Michelangelo made friends with a man named Francesco who encouraged him to follow his artistic desire. At the age of 13, Michelangelo was an apprentice at the very busy shop of a painter named Ghirlandaio. Here he became very skilled at fresco painting and draughtsmanship, and showed remarkable success compared to the other students. Thus, Michelangelo was involved in the commission given to Ghirlandaio to paint frescoes for the church of Santa Maria Novella. To make a fresco, an artist uses the technique of painting on a moist plaster surface with colors ground up in water. During this time, Michelangelo will be introduced to the wealthy and powerful Lorenzo de' Medici and became open to a whole new world of masterpieces. Michelangelo went to Rome, where he was able to examine many unearthed classical statues and ruins. Soon, he created his first sculpture out of marble of Bacchus, the god of wine. At about the same time, Michelangelo created the beloved Pieta statue. A Pieta is a representation of the Virgin Mary mourning over the body of the dead Christ. Usually, Christ is placed in her lap. It is interesting to note that the only piece of art Michelangelo signed was this Pieta. The sole purpose of the strap across Mary's chest is to hold his signature. Perhaps his most famous and beautiful piece of work is his statue of David in Florence. This statue is 17 feet tall. Michelangelo chose to represent David as an athletic, manly character, very focused and ready to fight. Michelangelo preferred sculpting over painting. In April of 1508, Michelangelo was summoned by Pope Julius II to paint on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. He was to paint more than 400 figures. In order to prepare for this enormous work, Michelangelo drew numerous figure studies and cartoons, devising scores of figure types and poses. These awesome, mighty images demonstrating Michelangelo's understanding of human anatomy and movement changed the course of painting in the West. It took 4 years to complete this magnificent fresco. One scene depicted on this fresco is the creation of Adam. During the creation of the Sistine Chapel fresco, Michelangelo was sculpting the Interpretation of Moses. It was intended for Pope Julius II's mausoleum. In this time period, Moses is often depicted with horns on his head. This is because the word horns in Italian is the same word used to describe rays of light shining from Moses' head. At the age of 88, Michelangelo died on February 6, 1564 in Rome. Since he spent most of his time in the city of Rome, Michelangelo was considered Roman by many. Therefore, his body was buried in the Holy Church of the Apostles in Rome. However, it was the wish of Michelangelo that he would be buried in his native town, so Florentine merchants stole the body and returned it to Tuscany, where it was reburied in the Basilica of the Holy Cross.